What is invisible invaluables? Invisible invaluables is actually an art and photography project about the invisible value we parents afford the economy. And I called it status symbols for the invisible economy of parenting. One of the lines on the walls was, "What is a woman's point of view?" And it depends on the size of the window above the sink. Now, this source is unknown, and it was told to me by Alona Tannen, who is a librarian. The point of view could also be above the gas stove. In the exhibit, one walks first through what I call the glass corridor, which is the jail of the primary caregiver who always has to be in home. See, on both sides, you see photographs of window blinds. On the left side, it's closed blinds with the light reflections of the kitchen sink water. On the other side, open blinds appear behind milky oblique window panes, and they look like oil paintings of jail bars. Here's another one. Here's another one. And another perspective of the primary caretaker, kind of stuck at home behind bars. And yes, another one. Many, many hours of caretaking inside the house. Now, these walls are kind of like separation walls because they separate between the personal and political. Personal life inside, political life outside. But actually, outside, we have another wall. See, life givers and sustainers are excused from the public space. And below you see the separation wall built in Israel, which was outside, which separates families from each other, Palestinian people from the seashore, and from human rights. You see this also in this work, which is imprinted on the sidewalks on little ramps for baby strollers. It's called For Mother and Child. And my question is, where is the father? This is what it looks like with, perspective. So you get the feeling inside. Here we see the closed blinds with reflections of water on them. I call these the veil of the wall. Closed window blinds with sink water reflections reminded me of the wall being built in Israel. So after you go through the glass corridor, you meet this largely, exquisitely decorated room that looks like kind of, how jewelry stores look or fashionable, expensive cars. You have these lit photographs that are both hung on the wall and And when you actually, this is the space from three different perspectives, and it's divided into actually three spaces. We see two spaces here, while one you can see from while it's full with people, and then a different point of view when it's empty and kind of, sacred like. The National Insurance of Israel defines the job of parenting as not working. Isn't that nice? The first month of intense healing and taking care of a new baby are called birth vacation and not maternity leave, though just think actually recently they changed that finally to a different name. Now, still, according to the United Nations National Accounting System, this work, the upbringing of children, managing and sustaining a household and family, is of little or no importance, thus not counted in the economy of a state, in spite of the mentioned above. In October 24, 1975, in Iceland, 90% of the women went on strike. They called it vacation or day off because they don't feel so well being, they didn't feel so comfortable being like bad girls or something, but they did it in order to challenge the system. And the nation, so surprisingly, came to a standstill. So you see, that's why I make these status symbols. These, in quote unquote, unimportant objects can spell life and death. And I think mothers know what I'm talking about. A pacifier, if you don't have a pacifier where you're stuck in traffic, you can lose your shit. And that's why pacifiers are so central, because also pacifiers is actually peacemaking, because it's to pacify. Peacemaking is performed not only outside in the public, but it's also done a lot, in fact, in the home front. This work is called Mystic Topaz, after a gem by the same name. This is Mystic Topaz in one of my visual talks in the Dallas Museum of Art. I participated with the Mother Lode. Sacred eye, or the eye of the spirit, is revealed by just the dish soap. So spirituality is actually quite present in the life of a caregiver. So you see, to pacify means to make peace, actually, or to create peace, or to calm. And the caretaker is actually the domestic calmer, or what I call mam activist, meaning mother activist. And peacemaking in the home front is just as important, if not more, than in the public front. This is called Blazing Saddles. I don't know why I like the name. This is Iron Maiden, and it was actually baby bottle nipples. Iron Maiden is printed on the cover of this book about feminist economics. This is the book. It's called Counting on Marilyn Waring, New Advances in Feminist Economics, edited by Margun Jornholt and Elsa McKay, rest her soul in peace. The book also includes a chapter we wrote. It's called If Mothers Counted, Status Symbols for the Invisible Art of Mothering. Here you see me right after I gave birth to twins. learning a new job. I make milk. What's your superpower? This image I really like because you see knives. It's actually a window of a store for knives, but the what's written on the wall caught my attention, and it says, and this is a translation, housewife, indulge yourself. Top quality knives by yourself. And then I found this on the internet. Why do people keep sending women to the kitchen? Don't they know that's where all the knives are? This is called white gold. And this is yet another window or glass corridor that the caretaker, caretaker sees in front of her eyes. This is the horizon. When we talk about glass ceilings or glass corridors that we keep on bumping against, so now you get an opportunity to actually see them if you really noticed the horizons that your eyes meet on an everyday level. Now here we have photographs of meetings we conducted in the gallery with, well, all kinds of groups. And what we wanted to illuminate was the trickle-down effect of government legislation into private life. And here's a quote we heard many times during the exhibition from visitors, especially women. When we divorced and were dealing with the money issue, my husband said, "You didn't work or earn money. Why should I give you anything?" And they said this with lots of pain while looking at the exhibit. This work actually is of the location of another water source, which was the bathroom sink. Mothers are actually the health practitioners of a private home. They usually find themselves doing all the washing and cleaning and health taken care of. So sinks and baths are a very repetitive thing in front of our eyes. That's why I wrote this. Next to the sink, which I call the well, same as every village, life happens. Meaning, there is meaning there. This one is actually another well source, which is the bathtub. I spent so many hours giving twin baths that one day this reflection on the bottom of the bathtub after emptying bath waters of long twin baths, this presented itself to me. And, it's quite obvious. I call it either Amber Venus or for the more, what you call, other types, I'd call it shot woman. This is the crown that we deserve. Actually, it's just the bottom of a baby bottle on a certain time of the day when the sun met the bottle, met the table. And yes, I agree to accept this crown. I was given to me by a higher source. Here's yet another perspective of the gallery. Here's a white diamond offered to me by some mysterious being. And this is Marilyn Waring's seminal book called Counting for Nothing: What Men Value and What Women Are Worth, which taught me a lot. And I really like this quote. While women, children, and the environment are counted as nothing, the entire international economic system calls war productive and valuable. Here's me when they were small with my favorite question: why don't you answer the phone? It's dedicated to my father, who loved calling me at the bath, sleep, clean, feed time every night and then asking me why I don't answer the phone. Can you see any extra hands? I tried to grow them. I really like this one. This is called Internationally Laced Lace. It's actually, hold on to your seats, rotten baby food found in some long forgotten kitchen corner. I really like this one too. I think they're beautiful. I have this thing for aerial photography and it looks just like Mother Earth from above. Here's another one. And here you see three of them all together. It looks so much like what we see from an airplane. You see, this stuff, this work we do is so invisible that I had to remind myself, you are invisible, baby. Go visible. And this actually is something that I saw every day on my Gmail account. It's a reminder, baby, you are invisible. Go visible. I'm writing now. I'm writing now instead of doing the dishes, instead of wiping the dust, instead of separating the summer clothes from winter, in the clothes that are small on them from the clothes that are big for them, instead of putting the small clothes in a bag to give to friends or putting the others back in the closet, instead of going to buy vegetables because we are all out, instead of driving to the repair lab to pick up the video, instead of changing the light bulb in the kitchen, instead of washing the pee-soaked mattress cover, again, instead of going to the health insurance maintenance organization to get my reimbursement for the appointment with Dr. Netter, instead of going to Yam, my son, who is crying behind the door, evil me, I'm writing now. I'm writing now instead of going to income tax to adjust my tax rate, instead of sorting out my status at the National Insurance Institute, instead of arranging for an American passport for Romy and Yam. I'm writing now. Here are some of the press that covered the project. As part of my work, I have a big mouth, as you may have noticed, and any opportunity I have to say what I think and feel, I do so. This is in a popular program in Israel, getting the message of unpaid work out there. And what happens when men do this work? Are they treated the same? Well, when he does it, for some reason, it's sexy. Well, to many women it is. Now, why would that be so? So when her hands are free from holding children, what then she can take a photo. So I have all these sleeping people in my photos. You see, I learned from a film called The Other Side of the Glass that dads have the need to protect, which is important. And actually, we women need their protection. But if the dads don't have the information to be able to protect, meaning how and what they're supposed to do, then they are useless. Okay, the other women helped me take care of my babies. These are some of the other women. There are dozens of other women who help us take care of our children, and they need to be counted. They need to be counted because there is always a woman behind the scenes. Even when a woman goes to make a career, there are other women doing the job that she decided or could or was privileged enough not to do. So, can money buy love? If you are a mother, you know that leaving your child with someone is never, ever a simple issue because that someone needs to love them. Are you paying enough for this person to really give their whole soul to this baby of yours when you are not there? This is a woman who left her child in a faraway country in order to make money for him by giving her love to another child. So basically, we are stealing from these children the mother love they deserve by creating such an economy that says when you bring up your children, it's worth nothing. But if you cross the street and bring up your neighbor's children, then you get paid. So that means that the economy says if you want to be worthwhile, you have to leave your children and family. This image is called protecting. Here we are at that word again. The art of protecting. You see how we are protecting little children from being hurt? You see the bandages on the IKEA cabinet that we have there? You see, images and metaphors have the power to create reality, and they have enormous influence on shaping public opinion. This is by Dr. Gabriele Nuri, and here you see two little tushes looking at two little robots. And are we becoming robots with all our screens? Are we conscious of the power of our screens? And then one day I wake up from a sofa slumber and discover the enchanted forest of Gulliver is at my feet. So here they are, actually whizzing past. Well, now who's the driver here? No one knows where the driver is, but they're going down. And and here they are, not so happy to accommodate the mama artist, but you know, there is a price. So why don't you ask yourself, is your caring valued? Is your time valued? You know, when you're not valued, all kinds of stuff enter your head. You have negativity and despair and envy and self-doubt and judgmentality and self-loathing, all these beautiful things people sent me in my Facebook account. Now, being devalued by the outside world is not a simple thing because it translates into devaluing our own self-worth. We are affected by what is said around us. Did you know that the word economics comes from the Greek oikonomiko, and oikos means house? So actually, economics is not from the big world outside. It means the care and management of a household. I just like playing around with the effects sometimes. The care and management of a household. Actually, she's doing economics. So this is me, Shira Richter. I think about the roots of our thought system. I give artistic talks on the subject of care, mothering, and fathering. And I love this quote. None of that counts. She supposedly does all of this work for love. Now, that's not to say that people in the paid workforce don't work for love too. I love lots of my work. The thing is, love has nothing to do with it. Love has nothing to do with valuing this work. So next time someone says to you, oh, but you love it, say to them, love has nothing to do with it.